We have Era Kryeziu, who is here, who is an amazing lawyer in personal injury law and an amazing mother to her newborn baby, Zara, an amazing wife to her, no, I'm just kidding, her amazing husband, Adam. And she's joining us with Conversate to talk about all the amazing things she does as a lawyer, mom, and wife, how she handles it all and still appears to look amazing every day. So welcome, Era. Thank you for being here on Conversate.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yes, of course, of course. And so usually Akeem is the host of these podcasts, and he thought it would be helpful to have a woman draw out the important questions for women lawyers. So he asked me to host this episode. And so I'm going to start it off how it usually starts off and ask you, if you were not a lawyer, what would you be?
I want to say a stay-at-home mom
Okay.
would be ideal.
Okay. What about being a stay-at-home mom is more appealing than like a career elsewhere?
I mean, there's nothing better than hanging out with your baby, honestly. Like doing that just makes me before I used to think that I always like needed to have a job or like needed to do whatever it is outside of the house, but after having a baby, I'm like I really don't want to do anything other than hang out with her. There's like nothing more important than seeing her hit all her milestones and like just being able to see the new things that she does every day and just being like present with her. So being able to do that all of the time would be ideal.
Okay.
But
do
here
you
we are.
have aspirations for Zara though? Like would you be cool if she was a stay-at-home mom, or would you want her to experience a career first like you have?
I would be okay with her doing whatever it is she wants to do, honestly. But if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom and is able to, I think that would be amazing. But if she wants to have a career, I think that would be cool too. It would be up to her, I guess.
I got you. Okay. And so before you became a stay-at-home mom, you are a certified lawyer, barred in 3 jurisdictions. So explain, what was your introduction to the legal field? What brought you here and why are you still here?
So I guess my introduction to the legal field isn't as like I don't have this like story that everybody has, right? That's like I was so passionate about this. My story is I guess a little bit more basic. So my parents are immigrants and there's just only a couple of things that are acceptable in their eyes for you to be when you grow up. One of those things being a doctor, the other one being a lawyer. In their eyes, not that I wasn't smart enough, but I guess the way that who I am as a person was just more cut out to be a lawyer. And so they just like strongly pushed me towards that way. And then in undergrad, I played volleyball. I didn't necessarily care much. Like I just didn't really know what I was doing. I played volleyball and that's what I was doing in undergrad. I didn't really have any, I want to do this or that, right? So I had a psychology degree. And for anybody who has one, you know that you can't do much with it. There's really not a lot of jobs you can get straight out of undergrad with a psychology degree. So you have to do something else. And then my parents just like strongly pushed for that something else to be law. And so that's what I did. And here we are. And then I've stayed because it was a lot of hard work to get here. And so I'm going to stay and use it for a little bit at least.
Facts.
And see where we get.
Facts. So do you know what it was about the legal field that why your parents wanted you to be here?
I think it's just my mouth. Like I was arguing with everybody, right? I was arguing with them all the time. So they were like, why don't you monetize on running your mouth? Like
they said, you seem to be good at this. You might as well make money doing it.
Right. Somewhere where it's useful, not with us, you know?
Got you. Got you. And so you went to law school at UDC, University District of Columbia, David A. Clarke School of Law. Graduated class of 2020. Right? 2020. You graduated during COVID era. How was that?
It was interesting, honestly. Because the law school aspect of it really didn't affect us as much because I think COVID was sort of starting towards like the tail end of it. And at least for me, I had already taken all the classes I needed to take. And so I was doing extended clinic and maybe had like a couple other classes, but I had planned it out that way on purpose so that I could have some extra time to sort of start doing some bar prep here and there. But then little did I know that I would get all of the extra time because it was pushed, kept getting pushed and pushed up until we eventually took it in October. So it was just kind of scary. We just didn't know what was happening. It's like we
Yeah.
knew we were going to take the bar. It was just a matter of when and how. And then we were the first people to take it online, which was interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't really know what that was going to look like. There was no one who had done it before us to sort of tell
Mm-hmm.
us. We did get the half version of the bar exam, but while I guess that some people might say that's easier, it still was more difficult just under the circumstances that we
For
were in
sure.
at that time, you
For
know?
sure.
There were so many glitches with the system and all of that, but I'm
Mhm.
not even going to get into any of that.
Yeah. How was it? Because so the bar, for those who don't know, is generally offered twice a year at the end of February and the end of July. How was it kind of reaching the timeline for the initial date? And obviously, you start studying after graduation. What did you do to kind of keep the information fresh in your mind until October?
I mean, it was tough because we had all of the time, right? But then it got to a certain point where it's like, am I overdoing it? You know, you
Mm-hmm.
start to, I think it's on purpose that they had, you know, the bar prep classes are structured in that way to where you get some time, but you don't get all of the time, right? You don't want to be overthinking and overdoing it because then you start to confuse yourself. And so for me, at least, I had finished all of Barbary, which like not
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people do under a regular bar prep like studying period, but I finished all of that. So then I'm out here like buying this supplement and buying that supplement, but then, you know, the wording isn't necessarily the same than what I'd been learning. And so I found myself just confusing myself more than anything.
Mm.
And it was just a struggle because we really didn't know what to do. Like you didn't know what was good for you.
Yeah.
Do I stop? Do I keep going? We just did what
Yeah.
we thought made sense, I guess, at the time.
Yeah.
But
There was
luckily
really
for me,
no
it worked
guidance.
out.
Yeah, for
No.
sure. For sure. But we all knew it would.
Yeah.
So aside from dealing with COVID era, monstrosity of figuring out when we're going to take the bar and things like that, do you have like a bar day horror story? Like something happened on that day or days? All right, give it to me.
I do. So our school actually let us, well, everybody was taking the bar from home or from wherever it was you wanted to, but essentially you were not at school. Our
Mm-hmm.
school did let students come and take it at school, and they had us spread out to a few people in a different room. So because we didn't know, you know, how this whole online bar was going to work, I didn't know that if they had emailed us a password or something to be able to get into the system. In my head, whenever the time was to start, it would just start up, even though I had put the password in. I didn't know that once I put the password in, hit enter, it was going to automatically start. And so I think it was 10 minutes before the actual start time. I'm just like, let me just go ahead and put everything in, get ready to go. I'm thinking it's like, when you go on Zoom and it puts you like, it's like, oh, the host will let
Right.
you in. So that's what I'm thinking. Now they're just going to let me in when it's time.
Right.
No, so they let me in. And so here I am 10 minutes before the start time. I'm looking at the first MPT question and I'm freaking out. So I'm just like, I'm looking around. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like now I'm wasting time, but do I start working on this or
Right.
do I not? There was a couple other people in the room. And then there was one of like the library people who walked in and she's like, my camera's on and I'm like already on there. So I didn't know what to do. So I started talking to it, sort of letting them know that I'm taking the bar exam at school. Like you might hear other people's voices because they don't know that I've already started, like just trying to let them know that I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to cheat. I'm not doing anything crazy. Like I just didn't know. Anyway, so then the library lady comes in. She's like, everybody go in here. And then I'm just like freaking out because there's people talking and it was something. And I
Yeah.
didn't start. I was like, I'm not going to start working because I don't want to get in trouble for starting too early.
You have 10
So
minutes on the clock.
I had to. What was I didn't know what to like. I was like, I can't start it
Yeah.
because then I don't know. So yeah, I
Yeah.
waited until everybody else started. But that was probably like the scariest thing. I was so freaked out. I did not know why they had it set up that way, but or they should have at least let us know that was going to happen. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
that is scary because you only get 90 minutes for the MPT. So if you got 10 minutes, less, sheesh, you was typing. You were getting it
Yeah.
done. Wow. Okay. And it was
I
still
was
over
freaked
2
out.
days, right?
It was still over 2 days. It was just half. So instead of 6 essays, we had 3. And then instead of whatever questions is it 200 multiple choice, we had 100, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. And so when did you guys get your bar results if you took it in October?
I want to say it was close to New Year's, maybe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe I
Okay.
think I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a couple months later.
As an examinee from the COVID generation, do you feel any kind of way that you took a half bar? Does it feel like people feel any kind of way that you took a half bar? How does it feel?
I don't feel any type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, we still had, if anything, in some aspects, I think it was harder because we had to study everything, but you don't really get the, like, we had 3 essays, but say that's your worst topics. For me, it was
Facts.
my best ones. It just worked out that way. But say
Yeah.
if it's your worst, it's like you bank on knowing, you're not going to know everything, but then
Yeah.
you sort of give yourself that room that it's okay as long as I know 3 of the essays, I can maybe not do so well on the other 3. But if you only
Right.
have 3, but to answer your question, no, I don't feel any type of way because I know that we studied the same amount.
Mm-hmm.
I know all of that, and I haven't experienced anybody, else feeling any type of way about it as well. I don't think people put that much thought into it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It was just my personal experience.
Facts. No, I hear you on that. I don't think it changes anything. I think the bar is a stupid exam anyway. So whether you
Right.
take half or all of it and you pass, yeah, you're a lawyer.
Yep.
Okay. So we've talked about law school, we've talked about the bar exam, and now you're in the thick of it. Talk about what you do currently and if you're enjoying it.
Yeah, so currently I do personal injury. Essentially, most of my cases are car accident cases. We do some slip and falls here and there. Our firm does some med mal here and there, but I have not done any of that. So essentially, I do the car accidents and the slip and falls. I enjoy it. I mean, litigation is litigation. It's fast paced. I've got a lot of cases. I practice in both district court in Maryland and circuit court, but then also in Virginia and in DC. So you're always busy, but I like that it's not very high pressure, right? So like if you're dealing with like immigration or, family law, that's, people's families and sort of like livelihood, like are they going to be able to live in it's
Right.
things that seem a lot more heavier. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I deal with people with injuries, right? But it does not feel as life and death as it did when I was doing immigration and
Not as
family
high
law.
stakes.
Exactly. I like that part. I like that there's little emergencies, right? Like with civil litigation, you have deadlines and you know those well in advance. Like there's no, oh, I have an emergency motion to respond to tonight because somebody filed X, Y, and Z. Like, no, everything is calendared. You sort of are able to still plan a little bit, and you can still have some work-life balance because there's not things just happening all of the time that are sort of fires or emergencies. So I do like that aspect of it. And I just think it's fun, honestly. I have fun doing it for the most part. I enjoy it. It's not super stressful. There's obviously stressful times before big trials and whatnot, but the sort of the day-to-day is not like, I don't feel like I'm always in like fight or flight mode. I feel pretty calm most days at work, and that's all we can ask for, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. And so you stated as you started out after law school and passing the bar in immigration and family law, was it kind of your goal to go into those practice areas, or were you pretty certain that you were just going to do whatever was there?
I thought that I wanted to do family law. I really did. And I thought that I might want to do immigration too, but then getting into both of those, I realized that I don't want to do either of those. They were just both difficult in different ways. Like immigration was just difficult for me because it just felt like it was high pressure. And there was, especially because when I was first doing it, that was during Trump's first term. And it just felt like a lot of negativity. There was like no positive outcomes. It just felt like it felt like every day was a bad day to be an immigration lawyer. And so that I was not a fan of, and I just really didn't enjoy it. And it made me sad, honestly. And then with family law, it's just emotionally draining. It's very emotionally draining. Like you're on 24/7. Like if your clients are exchanging their kids at 7 p.m., even though that's like, it really has nothing to do with you, it has a lot to do with you, because if something goes wrong, they're calling you, and it's like, you would much rather them call you than do something crazy.
Right.
So you're just on all the time, and it's very emotionally draining. And I think it leads to burnout very, very, very quickly.
For sure. For those who don't know, Era started at the DC Affordable Law Firm doing immigration and family law. And that is a fellowship that lasts for, I believe, 15 months. What was the process like? Were you kind of feeling already that maybe immigration and family law aren't for me? What was the process of leaving those practice areas and getting into personal injury?
Yeah, so I definitely was feeling burnt out and was like, I need to
Mm-hmm.
do something different. I might come back to this, might not, but I just need to do anything different.
Yeah.
And so I was looking around, and for me, the process was like, how can I take the skills that I've learned here? Because we did gain a lot of, good skills. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, how can I take this and, have it work somewhere else, right?
Mm.
Because that was the only experience that I had was that. And I didn't want to be pigeonholed in family law and immigration law. So I sort of took the basics, right? It's like we had done depositions and I had done
Mm.
hearings. And so I was using that to try and get my foot in the door somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And I was applying everywhere. Honestly, I was applying
Yeah.
everywhere. I was getting interviews. And I think, honestly, the biggest thing for me that I think my current employer appreciated was just honesty, right? They
Mm.
were like, have you ever done this? I said, no, I've never done personal injury. I would love to learn how to do it. I've never done it. But I can do X, Y, and Z. I've done
Mm.
depositions. I've been in front of a judge before. I'm comfortable doing that. And so I think I can take that, all of that, and then just teach me the personal injury part of it, and then
Yeah.
I'll be good. And which they really appreciated, just sort of being upfront about what I can and can't do, not trying to like pretend that I'm this like PI expert when I was not, didn't really actually know anything about it. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, so there was that, taking the basics, right? It's like all of the law, you can always make it work in another
Mm-hmm.
field. You just
Mm-hmm.
go back down to the basics. Like it's not much different, even if the
Mm.
area of law is a little bit different.
I hear you. And in that process where you're identifying the transferable skills, was there any networking at all that you felt you had to do? Were you primarily applying on LinkedIn? Looking back into how you get your job, like what advice would you give to the next person based off of what you did to secure your current role?
Yes. So I think I may have done some networking here and there, but that's not what necessarily got me this job. This was
Mm-hmm.
just straight off of Indeed. I just,
Oh, wow.
like, yeah, I didn't really expect to work. I just hit apply and it somehow worked out. It was the first time I'd used Indeed, and yeah,
Wow.
it worked
Wow.
out pretty quick. And honestly, with like, I was so burnt out that even writing a cover letter at that point seemed too much. I was like, I just don't
Mm.
want to put in all of
Yeah.
this. Yeah. So it was, Indeed was great. So if you're in one of those places where you're like, I don't want to write a cover letter, I don't want, try out Indeed. Like you can
Yeah.
just hit apply to so many different jobs and you never know who will reach out. Even
Yeah. And there's some good jobs on there.
there is good jobs on there. And I think the biggest thing also when like trying to find a new job is don't let them tell you no, right? So
Mm.
I think that for the job that I currently have, I think they said they wanted somebody with like, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 years of experience in
Mm-hmm.
PI. I had zero. I had zero
Mm-hmm.
years of experience in personal injury and 1 year of experience in law in general. And guess what? They called me and
Yeah.
I got the job. Like, let them tell you no. Don't tell
Yeah.
yourself no. You
That's
don't know. They
good.
could, maybe no one else is applying. Like,
Right.
shoot your shot, see what happens. And that's my biggest advice is literally just shoot your shot, see what happens.
See
That's
what
what I did.
happens. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. Okay. So you've been personal injury attorney for how long?
I'm going into I think I want to say my 5th year now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So what is the work-life balance like, particularly for the firm you're at?
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
There is rarely late days. Sometimes there's a little bit of later days for me because I'm not a morning person. So I might
Mm-hmm.
sort of start my day a little bit
Mm-hmm.
later than the normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And then I might be there until about 6-ish, but there really isn't that many late days.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, is that everything is sort of calendared in advance, unless there's like a calendaring issue and something doesn't make it on there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to have a lot of emergencies. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just really not, like, what your schedule is going to look like. And as long as you're managing your time right, there's no reason why you should be at the office past 5:30. There really isn't. There's always going to be work to be done, but it's always stuff that can wait, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
for the next day. So yeah, with the work-life balance is great. So that's kind of why I've sort of stayed in this field, because yeah, the work-life balance is great. There's no billables, which is
Right.
also amazing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of flexibility. If you're getting your work done, there really is a lot of flexibility.
Good. And so you just had a baby. How was it just generally dealing with becoming a mother with a career? How did you handle, the preparation, and how are you currently handling being a mom and holding down your career?
So it's a lot. So I guess we can start off like pre-baby first.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot. So like, in this country, maternity leave is really not a thing. So
Yeah.
before having a baby, there's a lot of things you're thinking about, right? It's like, first is the pause in the career. Like, what is that going to look like? How is that going to play out? But then also it's like, how am I going to make it work with like taking time off after I have this baby? And luckily for me is I did get 6 weeks of paid time off, which was not enough at all. Like, it's not enough at all, but some people don't have that.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't know if I had that or not. So I did not know that I was one of the first people out of my firm to have a baby. And so there was really no maternity policy in place. And so
you
trying to
created
figure
the
out
policy.
what that was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, essentially. Trying to figure out what that was and what that was going to look like was really difficult because they hadn't really dealt with somebody, at least one of the attorneys, having a baby. So that was really scary because there really wasn't any like, oh, well, this is what we've usually done, you know, before you leave, you do X. There was none of that. It was just sort of trying to figure out what was going to happen, which was very scary. But I tried to sort of leave all of my cases in a good place before leaving and just leaving good notes and stuff. So whoever could take over would be able to do just that. But going to work while pregnant is also very difficult. And no one talks about that. There's no accommodations. Nobody, essentially no one cares that you're pregnant other than you. Like you're going through hell and they're still expecting you to like be on it. Your brain's not functioning the way it used to before. And this isn't just a feeling I have. It's apparently like a scientifically known that like our brains do not function the same way. Yeah, I had a jury trial at 8 months pregnant, and it's like you just have to keep going, and no one really is like cares that you're pregnant. It's business as usual for you, and the expectation is that you need to get everything done, which is very, very, very difficult. Yeah, and then having the baby itself is also traumatizing. It is. It is. It is what it is, and then having to go back after 6 weeks is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like I've like suppressed a lot of those feelings and thoughts because it was just such an awful time that have tried to not think about it now that I'm sort of like out on the other side. Everybody would tell me like, you'll forget, all of this. And I was like, no, there's no way. But you really kind of do forget how awful you were feeling at the time. But going back with the baby is definitely very hard, right? It's because like we want our careers, right? We want to go back to work and jump right back into it, but you can't help but think in the back of your mind that now somebody else is at home with my baby, seeing my babies first, and I want to be the one to see those. And I can't because I'm now in this office, 9 to 5, and you come home and you realize now I get 2 hours with my baby. Like it's their bedtime, and it just feels like you don't really get to see your own child anymore. And for me, I think now that's been sort of the toughest part. One of the toughest parts has been that, just not having enough time with her.
Wow. I want to go back to something you said about 8 months pregnant jury trial.
Yes.
Just explain not explain, but do you have any advice for women who are, in the thick of their careers, thinking about getting pregnant, how they can prepare, physically to be able to still put out good work while literally all of your energy is being drained by this living being inside of you?
I don't even know that there's a way to prepare yourself, honestly, because until you go through it, you just truly don't know. You truly don't know what it's like. Like you're not even able to, like, I used to think that I would be fine and that I would be able to do all of this. And even that after I had my baby, I used to think that I would just go right back and it would all be, but you are not even prepared with the feelings that you will have, the way that physically that you're going to feel. And like, everything that comes with it, you just don't know until you sort of go through it. And there's just really no way you can prepare for it. I think the biggest advice is just don't be hard on yourself. Like it's such a tough time. We just have to be a little bit kinder to ourselves. Yeah. The world is moving really fast, but we just have to sort of, I think for me, it just got to a point where I was like, I'm only going to do what I can do. Like all of these expectations that people have, they need to chill. Like it's not going to happen. I can only do but so much. Like I felt like I was fighting for my life every single day. And so I think just giving yourself some grace and giving yourself space to just understand that also this isn't forever. I'm not going to feel this way forever. I'm not going to feel like I'm, it's on certain days you feel almost incompetent or you feel like like, what is going on with me? This isn't who I am. Everybody else notices that like I'm just falling behind. Fact of the matter is, everybody else doesn't necessarily think that. You sort of are being way harder on yourself because you know what you're capable of doing, and it feels like you're really not, hitting that. So just being a little bit kinder to yourself, realizing these times will end. It's not going to be like this forever, and people are more understanding than we think that they are. So just taking a deep breath and just like, it's going to be fine. It's going to pass. Just chill. Like, don't stress that baby out. Don't stress yourself out. It's going to be okay.
It'll be okay. That's beautiful. So what about post baby or post labor, I'll say? What have you done to deal with the fact that there are some firsts that you're missing and there's not as much time in the day for you to spend with your new baby?
Honestly, I don't even know that I'm really dealing with it that much. I think right now I'm still, because I just started going back into the office a few weeks ago. I think what has helped me is the fact that my husband is the one that's home with my baby and not a stranger, or that I'm not, taking them to daycare. I think that's helpful for me. Yeah, he's the best. And the fact that my office is 15 minutes around the corner. So I actually come back during like my lunch breaks and try and, sneak some time in with her. And then when I get home, even though I'm tired, and it's very tempting sometimes to be like, hey, Adam, can you do bedtime? It's like, no, I'm going to do bedtimes because that's the only, it's just a little bit of time I can spend with her, right? Is that I'll come back and I'll make sure that I'm doing bath time, I'm doing bedtime, so that I get to see her for those few hours at night. And then Adam's good about sending videos throughout the day. And there's, actually been a few days where I've brought her into the office with me so other people can see her. It's the little things, honestly. It's all you can do. It's like, we can't control the fact that we have to be there 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever it may be. But the little bit of time that we do have, just trying to spend as much as we can with them, regardless of like how tired we may be and how much maybe I don't want to do bedtime and bath time. And it's like, no, I have to. This is like the only time I get to spend with her during the day. So just using every minute that we can.
Oh, really, such a good mama. Good. Okay.
I try.
She knows. Yeah. I did want to talk about, so in your field of work, there are actually a lot of people, whether you went to law school with them, that tend to be on the other side of the V, right? You're going against them in court. How's that been? How are you enjoying that? Do you find it to be fun, or is it awkward at all?
No, I think it's a lot of fun for starters. It's also kind of helpful, right? Because like you said, there's people we know from law school that, do insurance defense. And if I have, questions or something, like I use them to bounce ideas off of them, because sometimes it's helpful to hear their perspective as well, being on the other side, because it helps me do my job better as well. When because if you just talk to plaintiffs' attorneys all the time, it's like they're just going to keep, validating what it is that you think. And it's like, no, and you're the one that's right. But we're not always right. Sometimes our case has weaknesses, and it helps to get the perspective from somebody on the other side.
Okay.
So that's fun for me.
You're playing chess, not checkers, I see.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And then also just like in terms of like resolving cases, right? When you know the other person, sometimes with attorneys, it's like sort of an ego competition of like, when you know the other attorney on the other side, you can drop all of that nonsense. And like so many times I've been like, whether my friend on the other side, they've been like, hey, can you just give me a demand so we can get this done? Or I'll be like, can you just give me your best number? Let me see what I can do. It's just a lot easier to resolve cases and not have them dry out forever, because it's this constant like ego battle with this other attorney that you don't know. So for me, it's fun. I love it. I would much rather have that.
Yeah. What about when you're like in court and literally like going against them? Do you feel like it's more competitive in that moment?
Honestly, it hasn't felt more competitive. I still feel like it's kind of fun, because then we get to also laugh about the things that happen right afterwards. Because it's like sometimes they know their case is not as good, and then sometimes I know my case is not as good. But we have to sort of do the best we can do under the circumstances. And then when it's over and done, we get to kiki about it afterwards. And I don't know. I still think it's fun. It's always a little bit of competitive, right? But that's regardless of who's on the other side. Is if I'm at least for me, when I'm in trial or doing whatever it is that I'm doing in court, it's like my goal is to win. So it doesn't matter who's on the other side. It's like I'm competitive. I'm going to try and like win whatever it is. But it definitely makes it a lot more fun, I think, when you know the other person. At least you know that they're not going to pull anything that there's going to be no snake behavior, right? It's going to be a fair fight. They're not going to try and like do anything super crazy, which
they're
is
still
good.
going to want to be friends afterwards, so they're going to be
Exactly.
careful.
Exactly. No, I love it. I much prefer that versus like an attorney that I don't work with often or that I don't really know.
Okay. Now, Era was a boss in mock trial and won awards for our school. How does mock trial compare or contrast to the work you're doing currently?
So in some ways, it does really help prepare you, I think. Well, for being more confident, speaking in court and like being comfortable with objections and the competitiveness and all of that. I think all of that is super helpful. I think the one thing that's sort of different that for me, it sort of took a minute to sort of get used to is that in the real world, there's no fact pattern people are sticking to, right? When you're in court, even your own clients, right? You can prep them 3, 4, 5, 6 times and they will say something they have never said to you before on stand. And there's no preparing you for that. Like the clients going rogue, there's no preparing you for that.
Right.
And, with mock trial, even with the other, with the other side, whether that be with a defendant or whoever it may be that was on the other side, we had their little script,
all the
right?
evidence.
We knew exactly what they were going to say. Sometimes, especially if it's a district court trial, other than like the defendant's interrogatory responses that were written by their attorneys, I have no clue what this person is going to say. And if it's, if it's a car accident case and it's a liability dispute, it would be really helpful to know what they're going to say.
Right.
But you just go in there blind, right? It's like 9 times out of 10, I am crossing people with absolutely nothing. They teach us to never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Right.
Hard in real life, at least in district court cases. In circuit court, it's different. We have depositions and all of that.
Right.
In district court, every question you don't know the answer. I just don't know. Like, I don't know what they're going to say.
Right.
And that was very hard for me at first because it goes against everything we're taught. Like, it just goes against everything. And it was very,
not to
very
ask
hard
questions you don't know the answers to, right?
Exactly. And every question I never know the answer. So you're just going in there blind. And it's like, well, let's just see what happens.
Right. I wonder do you have any idea about potentially going into another field before you bask in being a full-time mother because Adam scored a big one and got a $50,000 a year job?
I don't know about going fully into another field. I think as long as I'm in law, I think I would want to stay in personal injury. I mean, I've thought about maybe moving to like doing government and like, but still they still do a lot of, personal injury type stuff, you just
want to be a government attorney so you can have a good life. I just want to be a government
attorney. Exactly. So that might be my like field switch if and
you
when
want Fridays off.
Right. That or one of those, PowerPoint making jobs that some people out there have, like, from home. I don't know, something like that.
Right.
Might be it. But I don't know about a whole full on field change. I don't think I would want to do that.
You're not ready for that. Not like entertainment law or contract law.
Absolutely not contract law.
No.
Contract too boring for me. Like I still need some type of excitement, in my day to day. And
you ain't trying to just read all day.
I'm not trying to just read all day. Absolutely not. No. I need to be yapping with somebody at some point in the day. I can't do the sitting at a desk all day long.
I hear you. All right. Well, before we close out, because we know Miss Zara is going to wake up soon, we do this or that for our guests. And I'm going to say something. I'm going to say 2 things, and you're going to tell me which one you prefer. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coke, 100%.
For sure. Have you ever seen the Pepsi documentary? About where they were like giving out the one where they were like, they promised a plane or jet. Yeah. And like most of the CEOs preferred Coke. I thought that was hilarious when they did that.
It is better. It is objectively better.
It is. It's like sugary. Like I feel like Pepsi has an aftertaste. It's not good.
Pepsi is what happens when you leave a Coke open and forget about it and leave it overnight. That is then what Pepsi tastes like.
Facts. I would agree with that for sure. All right. Hot or iced coffee?
Iced all the way.
Gotta go
even
iced.
If it's like 20 degrees outside, always iced.
Era makes the best iced coffee. Like she could systematically have my whole internal organs break down with how sugary the coffee is, but it is so good. It is the best coffee. Maybe you could probably be a barista in another life. Not even gonna hold you.
Maybe I'll open up my own coffee shop. Maybe one day.
For sure. All right. Lexus or Westlaw?
Neither. No, but if I were to
Ooh.
choose, I feel like in law school I used to use Westlaw more, but nowadays I've been using Lexus a little bit more.
Lexus has this AI component. As much as you love ChatGPT, I feel like you would love Protege.
Yeah, I've never used the AI for Lexus, but it just is more aesthetically pleasing, I think, than Westlaw for
For
me.
sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Westlaw is just like something old people would use. Like I feel like Westlaw was the first next thing after they stopped making the books. And like, okay, use
Right.
Westlaw. It's like very just
Right.
generic.
Right.
Yeah.
And Lexus does a lot of cool stuff too, other than just searching cases. You can search for
Right.
people and like,
Right.
yeah, it's
You can
yeah.
also do it in Westlaw. You can search for people. It's just not as good. It's just
Mhm.
not as good. This is not an endorsement. I just prefer Lexus.
We are not
All
being
right.
sponsored by either.
We're not being sponsored by either, although give us a call. All right. Twitter or TikTok?
TikTok 100% always.
TikTok 100% always. Yes. Era is at this point now in our group chat where she has to record the TikToks because she wants us to laugh with her, but some of us don't have TikTok. But we're here for it. We're here for it. All right, last one. Taylor Swift or Kris Jenner?
That's a hard one because they're both brilliant in different ways. It's like I love Taylor Swift, but we can't just look past what Kris Jenner has done. Like that's a tough one.
She's an
I'm gonna
amazing
have to go
momager.
with Kris Jenner. Yeah,
Wow.
she's taken a lot of talentless people and made a lot of money from them, and that's a skill we can't just look past.
We can't. You're so
You
right.
can't.
You
I
can't.
mean, as much as people hate the Kardashians, you can hate them, you cannot like them, but you've got to respect
You have
what
to
they've
respect that
done.
hustle. For
You've got
sure.
to respect what they've
For
done.
sure.
Like
For sure. That
it's
whole
just
family is just made something out of nothing.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. I hear you. All right. So the very last thing we do is called closing argument,
Oh boy.
where you just give me your closing argument of just essentially life skills, whatever advice you want to give to our viewers, but in the form of a closing argument. But you have to use the word of the day. The word, I will give you the word, but I won't give you the definition. You have to
Come on
guess the
now.
definition. Yep. You have to guess the definition. And so, what's so interesting? Akeem wrote all this down, but I'm not actually seeing what the word of the day is. So
Now
I'm gonna go.
English isn't my first language, right? So let's be a little
I
bit nice
know.
with this word of the day.
You know what we're gonna use? We're gonna use the word. We're gonna use the legal word, and you know what it means, but we'll see how you put it into your closing argument. So we're gonna use the legal word res judicata.
I don't. That's not even fair. You can't even use when do we ever use that word? When would we ever use that word?
But the meaning, we use the meaning.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. I need a different word. I'm going to need a different word. I'm sorry.
All right. We're gonna use caveat emptor.
Okay, I'll take res.
I'm trying to find. Okay, wait.
Where's Akeem? Akeem, where's the word of the
Right,
day?
right.
Akeem?
Where's the word of the day? Because I'm having a horrible time figuring out words.
All right. The word of the day is curmudgeon.
Oh, that's even worse. You should have went res judicata. Curmudgeon. And that's what producer says. Producer says the word of the day is curmudgeon. If you need a spelling, let me know.
Did Adam have to do this? Did he use curmudgeon as well?
Adam did a different word? Oh, they didn't do word of the day. They didn't have this much fun.
What? That's not fair. I don't even.
But Kendall and Jovina have done this.
Oh man. Okay, what am I closing on again?
Final words of encouragement, advice, a special message you want to leave with our audience, which are baby lawyers and law students.
Baby lawyers. And am I focusing on motherhood or am I focusing on
just whatever you want to focus on? I know this episode was kind of about career and being a mother, but you can do it on whatever you want to focus on.
Okay, man, I wish you would have let me know about this one earlier.
Your word is curmudgeon.
My word is curmudgeon. Curmudgeon schmurmudgeon. What can I say? Being a lawyer is just, it's something. It's one of the best things that you're going to ever do. It's fun, it's exciting, but it's also very difficult. Being a lawyer and being a mother is also way harder than being a lawyer and being a man. Let me tell you that right now. So if you're a woman and being a lawyer, you're already just doing a lot better than any man in your life. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, but you all got this. Just take time. Give yourself some grace. breathe, take it day by day, and don't get caught up in all of the curmudgeon that's going on around in the world.
Beautiful.
But just focus on you, focus on your baby, and just take it day by day. It's all we can do. It's all I got. The broadness of what I'm supposed to talk about makes me want to not know what to talk about. So here we are.
So you rest your case.
I rest my case, and I need to know what curmudgeon means.
Yeah. Producer, we need to know what curmudgeon means. See if he comes back.
Curmudgeon means a bad-tempered person, especially an old one. So you were completely wrong, but I mean, you did a good one.
Don't have a curmudgeon. Yeah, that was good. Good job, Eric.
Yeah, what did I say? Don't get caught up in the curmudgeon?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was good. Good job. See, Eric be knowing. And that's
You'll
why we keep her
definitely
around.
see a lot of curmudgeon people out there in the legal field, and definitely don't let them ruin your day. Don't let the I've been doing this for 40-year people ruin your day. So that goes into my closing as well.
Exactly. I had an opposing party the other day tell me she's been doing it for 33 years. And I was like, you've been doing it wrong. This is how you've been doing it.
And you've been doing it for 33 years, and look at us here. Both of us here together at the same table, and I've been doing this for 4, and now what?
Exactly. Can't let them get to you.
No.
Well, thank you so much, Era, for being here. You've been a treat to have on. And of course, she'll definitely be on again. And you can look out for the episode with her amazing husband, Adam Sadek. But thank you so much for being here. And we are out.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for teaching me a new word.
You're welcome.